Here you go. It's your boy Cody Cash, another Room 3 podcast here. I'm here with my co-host. Holy shit, I forgot his name.
It's all good.
Oh my god.
Y'all? It's still Kill.
It's still Kill. Wow. And today we got our special guest, BLAYD of Omni. Go ahead and introduce yourself a little bit, bro. Tell us about yourself.
What's good? I'm BLAYD. BLAYD the Daywalker. I'm an artist, multifaceted. I do a lot of different things. I wear many hats. Mainly, for the most part, I make music, and everything else comes as a facet of that. I'm a graphic designer. We here at Skatebird tonight. I made the flyer for it, weekly Thursday, running it up. We just started doing a new monthly lineup because we're starting to book all our acts more in advance. So
that's amazing.
now I just came up with a new flyer kind of design for we're gonna start doing for the monthly lineups.
Oh, I peeped.
Okay. Yeah. That was a quick and I've been getting raw with it. Like, no, it'll be like, yo, these are the acts, 30 minutes. Quick cook up every single time, to getting better and better. But
That's
just music, the art, and bringing to the physical the creations and amalgamations that I see in my mind.
Oh, this guy went to school.
Guy's in it, man.
Yo, so you mentioned kind of being able to do a little bit of everything, and you're still getting your hands in the pot. Talk about the importance of being kind of a Swiss Army knife when you're trying to market yourself out there.
I think in the modern age for artists right now, it's kind of like necessary to be that jack of all trades. Like, it's hard luckily I have this amazing team, as you can see, that we handle shit of this level, but there's a lot of people, and even in my aspect of like my own artistry, I don't got the bread to pay no one for some cover art and pay a videographer and do all the shit and do my own mixing and etc. Look, I have a little DIY studio now, so I could record myself and everything, but like that too, getting the bread to being as, there's the duality of you have to be as self-sufficient as possible. I think that makes you really strong, but not letting the ego of self-sufficiency stop you from collaboration and receiving help from other people. Because it's like, the aim to be as self-sufficient as possible does not mean, like me working on that does not stop or reduce any of my collaborations or collective efforts with other people. That's just like another hustle. It's like if I'm Sisyphus, I gotta push multiple boulders. It's not just the one. I have multiple things that I gotta work on that all require their own respective efforts. So you need all of it. And I think it's just the way artists are now, especially like, I like being able to do graphic design because I want to do my merch. Like, if I'm up, like I recently saw something on like Instagram that like some designer that I follow, like it was like Roddy Ricch or some shit like that. Oh, my bad. Can I curse?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. Like Roddy Ricch.
This is your interview.
Bet, like I saw it was like Roddy Ricch or something. It was like, yo, every time it was like the DM message was like, yo, every time I drop some merch, like my team puts merch out for me, he's like, I never like it, bro. I'm never wowed. And I'm like, how could that happen? How could someone on like your own, like I can't even foresee that. Hopefully nothing like that ever happens to me down the line. Because I would obviously, like, I'm a graphic designer. For damn well sure, even if I'm outsourcing, I'm gonna have a heavy hand in the curation of it. So I'm like, how can you have something as an artist, like it's your merch drop, and you're like, my merch ain't hard.
I don't like
how that's like, that's unacceptable. So I feel like having all these well-rounded aspects, it kind of allows you to know your vision more fully, which allows less room for other people's, even if you use that collaboration effort from other people, allows less of their input to seep in, and it stays more true to your original vision because you already know a little bit of everything, versus being completely unaware. Then they kind of gotta take a little liberty, and the less liberty people take, the more true your vision is, you know?
That's fact. That's like I'm sure you've ran into this situation, and yes, I'm gonna throw shots at you guys. All the artists out there that go to the studio and you tell your engineers, can you give me just some more echo? What does that mean? Know what you're talking about. Go do some research. Go practice, so you know what you at least want, so you can keep your artistic vision, man.
I have a question for BLAYD, man. So do you think that in your pursuit of being self-sufficient and knowing graphic design, knowing how to make your own, produce your own shit, that some things take more of a backseat when you're in a certain mode? Like, let's say you're graphic designing for like your own album or something. And you're in that mode of, okay, I'm gonna make this shit the hardest fucking graphic design, and you spend a lot of energy into that. Do you feel like that takes away from the energy from your music or from any other aspect, or does it strengthen it?
For a long time, I think a lot of things chalk up to perception. And for a long time, I used to feel like I had this conversation with like Raph and Sugar, and I was like, yo, exactly that. I was working so heavily on so many graphic design things that I was like, yo, I feel like I haven't been able to focus as much on my music and etc. And I feel like that I said, I feel like it's taking away from it. And Raph, luckily, he's always there to reframe my perspective. And he was like, nah, because it all works as a whole anyways. And it's like the same thing that I said, that knowing your graphic design in a way makes me a better musician, because having merch out is part of being a musician. It's all part of it. Your art, your cover art is part of your music, and that's not music production, but that's part of your musical journey in a way. So it's like, don't think that working on and in a way you're still working on a skill again that like directly relates to the creative thing that is your main goal anyways. So it all comes full circle. Yeah, exactly. But for a long time I used to think like I would be upset about it, but fuck bro, I've been going hard on graphics so much, I haven't been making the time for music. And it's also knowing to make that time as well, because I do a bunch of graphic design shit, and then as humans sometimes we get a little complacent, and then I'm like, oh, I work so heavy on graphic design shit, all right, I'm gonna go binge this show on Netflix. I could go make a song, you feel me? I have a home studio. I could not take those leisure moments and still make them into work moments, even though as people, we have to rest and everything. But it's understanding that like those sacrifices are what leads to reap bigger benefits and greater rewards than like the momentary pleasure of like getting that leisure from the work I did versus working even harder. The pleasure from the benefits of all that hard ass work is gonna be even greater than like that momentary pleasure of me just I'm gonna just go like smoke a blunt and watch One Piece. You feel me? It's a lot more.
I read somewhere that and it leads exactly in what you're just saying. Like there was someone that said, "Oh, I was so creatively deprived because I was consuming so much other shit.
Consuming and not creating."
Yeah, and then they were like, yo, I just had to get bored as fuck, and then eventually the creativity just came back in. How do you feel about that?
It's the same thing with children. The same thing of like why I like with my my sisters who I have recently, my sister, I have some nieces now, my uncle now. And I realized one of the best things that like the pure child's mind is like representative of like, I feel like what close to peak like adult, how your brain should be, in that like kids when they're bored they just figure shit out. They just make some random. I've seen a kid make like a gun out of a Lego, like, that can shoot. Because they're just bored because they don't got nothing to do. So they could go do some crazy thing that like an adult look at it like, damn, you made a whole gun out of a Lego, just like right. And it's that saying, we don't like to, especially with how people's attention spans have been shortened through short form content and everything, music, everything becoming more and more short form. People are afraid to be bored. People are afraid to sit with themselves just for a bit because that boredom scares them. But you don't realize when you really accept that boredom, that moment, that's when your brain starts coming up with solutions to that boredom versus emptily filling it with just consuming content, which is the
fast
creation. You're not just consuming, you're taking in the creation of another person and not creating. So all you're taking in is like something this person did, something this person did, something this person did. And then you start to sit with it like, damn, when is it gonna be the thing that I'm doing?
Real shit.
That's facts.
I agree.
That's how I see it.
So I want to switch gears a little bit because you mentioned heavily earlier how wonderful your team is with Omni and everything. What do you think is really like the big thing that keeps you guys together? Do you guys all have a main goal, or do you guys all have individual goals and you feel like this would really work together for all of us to get there?
I would say both. I love to use the One Piece analogy anytime. Everyone might say it differently, but I see it as like, to all the people who don't watch anime or anything, or like don't fuck with One Piece because it's like thousands of episodes. It's all about the journey anyways. So it's like the character, and this isn't any like necessarily spoilers or anything. Shit, I'll be out for a minute. But in One Piece, the characters all have different goals. Like the Luffy wants to be the king of the pirates. Sanji wants to find the all blue. Zoro wants to be the greatest swordsman. Nami wants to draft a map of the whole world. Those are all technically different goals, and they don't even necessarily need to be pirates or in the same crew. They don't need to get together to achieve those singular individual goals. They could technically go separate and try to achieve that via their own means or different routes, you feel me? But at the same time, it's understanding that the collaborative efforts of the individual people, in a way, it's like the same thing I said about, it's all circular, it's all art. Whether it's Bree wanting to be the best DJ, Raph wanting to DJ or any of his other creative efforts, me wanting to become this whole-rounded artist, all of us just wanting to be the best at what we do, even if those things might be slightly separate, might take us to different venues, might get us booked in different countries, etc. Might take us on these slightly different paths that like diverge, but the paths don't separate. You feel me? It's like
They stay in like the same.
so
like,
it,
realm.
it's not even like
It's like the same tree, just different roots.
I'm not. It's the end goal is the success for all of us, and even my like friends around me who are like non-artists, like non-creatives. If I have a homie who wants to be a doctor and he's like, yo, I want to be the best doctor in the world, I want to save as much people. That's the same level of like dedication and etc. that we view our artistry to the level that we want to take it at. And so yeah, any person around me, and I try to only keep. There's some like I have old friends that like I'm like, yo, like the lack of drive in certain people, even if they've even if they've never flawed you, nothing, etc. That energy kind of seeps into your it's hard to not become a product of your environment because we're like water meets its level. So if you're here and you trying to be level with people that are here, you gonna level yourself down. Maybe you might bring them up a little bit, maybe you might bring them up a little bit, but you're gonna level yourself down. And so you kind of gotta take those own moments to separate and know when to follow your own path and etc. And so what I really like with the team is that like there's no even if like I don't know, I see us all at the end together, regardless of what we're here now, regardless of what happens in the middle. I still see us all at the end.
That's fire.
Which is so I'm like the people that I have around me I know are the same people that I'm gonna be seeing at the end.
That's amazing.
And I know that for a fact. And there was a time earlier on when it's like there was more people around us. When you're all younger and you're doing it a lot more for fun and everything, there's that's okay when you're younger to really just kind of like enjoy it. But then it starts getting to a point where like a level of seriousness is required. And even if you're just having fun with it, you could be making meme music, but there's still a level of seriousness required to take that to a higher level. And as you grow, there are certain people that just don't move with that same rate, same pace, and it's not a race, it's not a competition or etc. But it's like you can't grow in a room with people that are worse than you. And I don't ever like to try to sound like, I don't mean that in like a condescending way to those people or anything, but like to elevate, you have to be. I like being the dumbest person in the room. Yeah, I love being because like you could just there's so much. It's honestly like euphoric to suck at some shit. It's great. It's fire. Like you start some shit and you're so ass at it, and it's just like, wow, I'm only gonna get better from here. Yeah. Like this is great. And some people hit that shit and they're just like, fuck, I'm ass at that shit and da 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 da. And I realize a lot of it that comes with the drive and everything. And the same thing I said earlier is reframing perspective.
Absolutely.
A lot of people will let their perspective ruin everything. And there was a quote that I hadn't heard it from anywhere, but I told it to Rock. And Rock said he never heard it from anywhere, so I was like, hey, maybe I came up with an original quote. But I told him, I was like, look at where your perception of yourself got you. And you could say that to anyone, anywhere, at any point in their life. Someone low as fuck, down bad on their dick, or someone all the way to fuck up. Look at where your perception of yourself got you. Yeah. Perception. Look at how you viewed things. Look at how that led you to where you are right now.
That's fire.
So it's learning how to reframe every obstacle. Another one that I like, I live my life by like a lot of good quotes that I've read. I don't even know if this was a quote. A lot of them I misquote, and I just kind of fudge it in my own way, so I just have it in my own way. One to me that I kind of just stays in my head is make every ceiling your new floor.
Absolutely.
Leveraging. That's a big thing as well. It's like once you do something, and it's hard to kind of like perceive it that way, because like, oh, I just hit this, but it's like, okay, now I be doing this. That's how you're like, okay, I do this now. Not like, oh, I just did this. Oh my gosh, like, what am I gonna do another thing like that? Like, nah, I do this. What am I gonna do the next thing?
Yeah,
like that's how you gotta. And even if like the perception of viewing yourself like that allows you to view those opportunities more easily, versus if you have the other perception, you're still gonna be looking for like an opportunity of that same level that you just got, because you're like, oh, I just did that. What am I gonna do something like that? That another, you're not gonna get a next level. But if you're like, oh, that's my floor. Now you're more open to the next level because you already know that you can achieve that next level, versus if you think...
It's like confirmation. Like,
that's facts.
Confirmation.
Yeah, exactly. So it's all perception and perspective. Is a lot of things that either will take you as far as you want to go or hold you back in the same place.
Yeah, bro. Your improvement should be proof that you can improve even more. You know what I mean?
That's hard. I like that. That's a good one.
My name's Cody Cash. So, all right. I want to kind of go into this little thing where... I want to call it this or that. Mm-hmm. So you're going to get two options. I'm going to let you either choose this one or that one.
All right.
You feel me? Sure. Okay. Coke or Sprite?
Like a Sprite man.
He does seem like a Sprite man.
Sprite man, yeah.
I think I would have to go with Coke. And because I'm thinking of in the context of like me being back home in Belize, and just like a little, like I know in Miami, like you go to any like taco place, they call it like Mexican Coke, but it's just like, you know, the Coke they have in, the Coke they have in like everything below Texas, basically. You feel me? Like, Belize is Central America, it's not Mexican Coke, but that like in the glass bottle and everything, that Coke over the Sprite.
That's different though. That's different.
Yeah, that's peak soft drink to me.
Yeah,
so I have that in my head when I think of Coke. So that's why I gotta go with that.
Okay. Trap or conscious rap?
Not as like, I wouldn't say to preface my answer, not to say that like one is worse than the other or anything.
Right now, how you feel?
Right now.
Yeah, right now.
Let me think. Give me a sec. Give me like 10 seconds.
You got it.
Cause it's all the vibe. Like right now in this moment, I say probably some trap. I'm pretty lit. We're about to go to Floyd. We're about to go to Space. About to see all these artists. It's about to see all these artists that are.
Wait, tell us
themselves.
about that since you guys are gonna go out there. Tell the people about that.
So, 3 points. If y'all don't know, if any viewers, listeners aren't from Miami, Miami has this big music festival. It's akin to our Rolling Loud for like the rest of the U.S., but here it's more so focused on like electronic and other genres aside from rap. They've recently started bringing in rap artists. Last year, a close friend of mine who I worked through with Omni and was the person who brought me into his studio to make the first song I ever recorded with and still make music with to this day. Rock Chamberlain performed at 3 Points last year, absolutely killed it. Two of our close friends yesterday at the 3 Points open house, Index, check the Index on Instagram, and 619 MF, I believe it's 3 MFs. They both killed it, highest person count of the night, highest engagement. Amazing to see people that I've literally made music with since the start of my journey now reach this level where they could just like show up and just absolutely kill a crowd and just be like, oh, like I just did that, that's okay. Like the same thing, just be like, oh, okay, cool, like I could just do shit like that now. Now I'm gonna just do some harder shit next. And today we're going catching some more. Today's more about we have artists that we've met along through this journey that are also there, and it's just like nice to see people who we booked for like Bird and other people that we've just worked with, other people that we booked for. You were there One Night Only?
No, I wasn't. No.
We had this other show, One Night Only, which was a secret reason that we threw that show, which will be revealed later. I just want to throw that out there. But that show was thrown not just to be a show, but for a specific reason. Some of the artists we booked there were also they're here today at 3 Points open house, and it's just a beautiful thing to see the growth. Because there's like I'll be real, like I'm human, and sometimes there doubt comes into my mind, but I try to remove it as quickly as possible. I allow myself to sit with it for when it comes because I can't control it, but understand that it's not within myself. But just knowing that feeling of like where I started at the beginning of my journey with so much more doubt, and knowing to some extent, because I can't speak for other people, that maybe that might have existed slightly in some of the hearts of my fellow artists, you feel me? And to see them go and kill some shit and get like the absolute most positive response, knowing that they basically fully secured, fully pearled, fully fucking killed that opportunity they just got, is such a beautiful,
like they always do.
Right? It's such a beautiful thing to see. So that's just like, yo, congratulations to Dex, to 619, to Rain, to Mr. Floyd, Larry, Camp Blue, all these artists, Cine, we booked a Bird, all these people. And it's crazy that we've come in contact with them too. Like seeing all these names of people that like you've been fucking with, and we're all on this same journey. It's such a beautiful thing.
Same shit, man.
Exactly.
Yeah, bro,
everyone trying to be the Pirate King. You feel me? We all running it up.
Kill, you got anything, my man here?
Just got my final question from my man here. So, what piece of advice, what solid piece of advice would you give to the people that are in that hole where they feel like they can't progress further? What would you say to them, for example, an artist that's like, damn, I've been trying for like 2 years now, I haven't been getting anywhere, and they're surrounded by people, but they just can't get into that same level that they're at?
Be okay with being uncomfortable. Put yourself in more positions that you feel like you're not ready for.
Okay.
Do them. Understand if you weren't, why you weren't ready for them. Work on those things. The work that you put in preparation for an opportunity to be ready when it comes, instead of waiting for an opportunity and preparing, is like what's pretty crucial. I would say I've been telling like another like little, I have a lot of little like philosophies and mentalities in my head from just like a lot of things, and one that I've been on recently that I've been telling people, I call it, for me, it's my mad scientist vibe. There's multiple ways that you could do something, like, and again I get enlightened by the people around me. And so like one time sorry, I'm going on a little tangent, but I'll come back to the main.
You good.
Sugar was telling me I was trying to make a beat, right? I was learning production, beginning of learning production, right? So like for someone who's starting something, I'm like, damn, I want to make this beat, but I don't know how to craft a melody. I don't know how to do drum patterns, da. Sugar's like, you want to make a beat right now? Or you want to learn production? You want to learn production? Go in your room, shut the fuck up, and learn how to make beats till you get good, till you feel like you're at your level. Or you want to make a beat right now? Go on Splice, go on something, grab a pack, go grab one of your drummer friends, make them do a drum loop, etc.
Yeah.
Set up this. You can basically you could still do what you want to do right now, but if you have this mental, it's the same thing, the perception of, oh, I gotta know how to make melodies to make a beat. No, you fucking don't. You could just make a beat right now. If you want to learn how to make melodies, do that. If you want to do the thing, go do that and go work on it. And so understand not to limit yourself, and just do it. The work, how do I say this? There was another little, everything is like, oh, kind of like, cool. The work that you do for no reason is the most important work. Like, the work that you just do just cause no one hears every single stroke that you play on the piano that leads to the time that you do play in front of someone. You know, no one hears every good note and no one hears every bad note. All those notes are for you. So you have to just do it do it for the sake of itself. Because if you won't do it for the sake of itself, you're not built to last in it. And that's in anything, I think. It's the people who are like, say you're trying to be a producer, right? And there's a producer that you're just trying to learn and you're just getting it by your own means, and there's someone that's in college. And the dude that's in college only does his coursework, only does his homework, only does his labs, etc. And that's the level that he's progressing at. Versus the dude who maybe can find some level of like structured learning through like YouTuber, etc. But outside of that, he's just doing it all the time, just cause. Not because he has a lab, not because he has to pass a grade, not because he paid money, etc. But will still do it. I think, not to say, and again, because the duality, not to say that I'm discrediting like a school education or anything like that, but I mean more so about the level of like drivenness.
Mentality.
That if that the same person, maybe the one that's in the school, goes and does hella work outside of it, they do hella shit outside of the lab, and they're always doing it, they're probably gonna advance super quick as fuck too. It's all as simple as like, if you won't do it just for the sake of itself, then like stop. Find the thing that you'll do just for the sake of itself, because that's the thing that you actually like and enjoy. And so there was a time at the beginning when I was feeling that moment and I was questioning my own seriousness within music and everything that I was doing, because I was like, yo, Rock, all these people around me, they inspire me. I'm like, Rock, everyone, etc. I'm like, they use every waking moment to like utilize that. You feel me? Rock's always cooking up some shit, even if he's on a date with his girl, he's probably thinking about a new plugin he saw or some shit like that. It's always something that's on his mind. And at the time I was like, I was never using it. I was more of like I stopped playing video games completely. I was a big PC gamer all my life, played hella games, etc. I literally, this is probably the thing I'll end off on. I had this crazy revelation. I was a big RuneScape player all my life. I just recently picked up old school RuneScape back when this happened, around like when I first started my music career. And I was like, I was skilling my character. I was skilling strength. And I was also very weak. I wasn't like, now I work out and stuff. I was very weak as well. And I was like, I'm skilling the skills. I'm making my character better. I'm making my character stronger, smarter, more agile, etc. And especially with games like that, spending real physical world hours to better an immaterial character when I have a physical material character that I can build upon and then create into the character that I want.
Big facts.
And so I was like, for someone who like
2K niggas.
For someone who, and that's the same thing. Like, I have people around me that it's like, regardless of what you want to grow in, like if you're just playing games for hours, you hop on, and there's nothing wrong with play a couple games, but like notice that when like, if you do like 3 hours on the PlayStation, you could cut off 2 of those and make those work time and still get your hour in and etc. And realize that like all that grinding for digital characters that aren't real are literally the same hours that you have, the same hours in a day that the people you look up to are using to better themselves for the things that you want. So instead of grinding for digital characters, grind for your physical character. And that's why I stopped playing video games and started focusing on real life.
There's nothing else we can say here. Room 3, Cody Cash, Kill the Master, BLAYD, it's done, bro. That's
BLAYD.
We're out.
Want to shout yourself out?
Yes, sir. My on Instagram is BLAYD, BLAYYD, and my design page, Daywalker Studios, is just daywalker.std. I don't fucking make a joke about that. Fuck you if you do. That's it.
Room 3, baby.